The show has just begun. You are now live with DJ Kid Fresh, Jay Bird, MC Rock, and the crowd mover, Heavy Hitter Zone, DJ Mark, the Spot. This is what we do. MC Rock, let's let the show begin. It's the After Work Classic Rewind. With DJ Mix, the one-armed soldier. It's the one-armed soldier. Spinning. Spinning the classics on the After Work Classic Rewind. Setting the tables on fire. Classic style. It's DJ Mix, the one-armed soldier. DJ Mix, taking it back with classic hip hop on Street Vision Radio. This is another DJ
Hello,
Riley.
beautiful people of Uganda. Welcome back to the U-Turn Flex, always keeping you updated. Here we have beautiful people seated in front of you. I remain Alinda David. I'm gonna be the noisy one, and it is such an amazing afternoon. It's an amazing evening. God has blessed us very well with a lot of blessings. I cannot even count how many because they just keep following me. Anyway, with me I got
I'm Remain Senator. Nice having you here this week. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Dr. Maria Goretti Nachonyi. Here, happy to see you today.
so we have a senator and a doctor in the house. Yeah, beautiful people of the Lord. Can you see them? Oh my God, I am just amazed to be in the presence of a senator and a doctor. Do you know what it means? Hey, if you have never, please, better try it out.
I really don't know what it means.
But you just say you're the Senate. Yeah. Anyway, it's all right. So today we have a few topics that we're going to be talking about. But first of all, we'll love to first talk to Doctor. Doctor, you're going to introduce yourself properly, what you do, and then after we're going to jump right straight into the program.
Thank you very much for the brief interaction. And so now I'm going to introduce myself. So I'm Dr. Maria Goretti Nachonyi.
Yes.
I'm a dental surgeon by profession.
Oh my God. Dental.
Yeah.
If you have children with dental issues.
You can see my smile.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Just like
Quite
mine.
on point, I think so.
Yeah, it is obviously.
Yeah. And the other thing is I'm also a teacher. But I teach basically once in a while dental students at the University of Makerere. Yeah, but I also specialized in global health research. Most importantly, I love God. Nice to meet you all.
Amen. I'm being honest. All I've been hearing is heavy words like doctorate, science, teacher. Honestly, I even lost myself there for a moment. Anyway, but back to what has brought us here. So I am being told that you have something for us for the young corporates.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so where do you stand in the young corporates?
All right. So I'm the chairperson of the Young Corporates since 2019 when the group started.
Okay.
So probably I'll first give highlights on what the Young Corporates are.
Oh, please.
Because those are very, very strong words. So Young Corporates is a group that was created by Pastor Richard Wangwe of Deliverance Church Chira, and it's aimed at getting youth that are actually below 40 years of age to go into working, but at the same time also invest in their foundation and Christian principles. So we believe the Bible says that I've just seen a man skillful in his work, he will stand before kings. So we as young corporates want to stand before kings even at our young age.
But I thought you were the kings and queens. In the presence of the Lord, we are all kings and queens because we all have something that has brought us into this world that we are good at. Now, for example, you're a doctor, a dental doctor, and you're a queen in that sector. You're a queen in that area.
Okay. So the Bible says you're supposed to get 100% on earth and 100% in heaven.
All right. I'm listening.
Spiritually, we are all kings and queens in the heavenly kingdom. But there's one thing being a queen before God, and when you're struggling on earth, you are pauper on earth. So we want to make sure that we get the blessings both from up and also on earth. So that we just get everything. The time you go to meet your father, you've exhausted all that he has for you on earth.
Yeah, man, everything. You have got followers. You have turned people from these evil things to Christianity. One, that's what I get, and thank you for that. So now we are now moving on. So the young corporates, they have something coming up. They are cooking, eh?
We are cooking, and the fire is already on. The saucepan is already on. So things are stirring.
First, go in details. The ingredients are tandika. Exactly, the cooking oil.
And the onions, I've just put the first bunch. So waiting for the tomatoes.
All right. Yes. So now indulge us. You have been informed that the young corporates have something for us, as the young people of Deliverance Church, Uganda, actually even all over Uganda, the whole world. Indulge us.
All right. So what the young corporates are cooking, what I'm talking about, like the cooking that is ongoing, is that on 30th September, that is 30th this month, 2023, not 2024, but 2023.
2023.
Yeah, and it's a Saturday. So we are actually going to visit one of the prominent farmers in Uganda.
Wow.
He's actually been with before with Uganda Clays. Now he's into farming, and we have the opportunity for us to see the different things he's actually growing, ranging from chili. Do you know chili?
Chili.
Do you like it?
Yes.
We have someone from West Africa here.
Exactly. Yeah.
They eat food with pepper.
Exactly. I love
Perfect.
chili. I love
so I'm
chili.
calling him as well. So we are going to learn how to grow chili, cucumber, celery, coffee seeds. We also have goats. So it's a farm that is full of so many things. And for us, we believe that we've always been dreaming of white-collar jobs, you know? Go to office, make money. Yeah. So the issue is that we believe that when we are making this money from the offices, it's not enough money.
True.
And we want to make sure, what do you do on your weekend? When you leave that office, what are you doing? Are you going home to watch TV? Are you going home to play with little ones? Now we are making the time very productive. That once you leave this office, go to the farm, do some cultivation, grow something, and before you know it, you have a boost of your income.
True.
So that's what we want to get involved in. So going back to the theme, so 30th September, we shall be visiting Mr. John Guitar's farm, and it's in Busika, Gayaza. We shall be leaving church at exactly 9 a.m. and then we shall all head there. It's just a fee of 20,000 Ugandan shillings, not dollars. Ugandan shillings.
I had a heart attack there. Yeah, it's little.
Yeah. For the kind of information we are going to get, it's just fuel for the actually the bus or the coaster that is going to take us there. So that is quite cheap. And then you are going to get information. We're not supposed to remain poor. Remember that all gold and silver belong to the Lord. And we are his children. So it's time for us to tap it, to tap that resource from the man himself. So we are calling upon each and everyone. Just mark your calendar. It's quite early. It's about, today is 6th, so it's about 24 days to go. Only 24 days. And so we want you to just plan. We are already receiving money. Win is collecting the money, as you can see on the flyers on the church page. So we want each and everyone to come here. And I just want to be specific. Young corporates are people that are actually below 40 years of age. That is the biological age. But we have social age. We have psychological age. You can be 80 years biologically. But when you're still 20 in the mind. We are calling everyone to come and join us. Yes.
So now, for those that are not on the like our Deliverance Church Career platform, what are you going to do for them? Because remember, this is being streamed live. People out there, someone might be like he wants to also join in. How are you going to give them that information? Aren't you going to contact or something? Because people need this information.
All right. I'm going to give a contact. The contact of the treasurer is not in my head. So I'll give mine, but only for this purpose.
Okay.
Young corporates purpose, not
the
any
young
other
corporates,
purpose.
not any other purpose.
The information details will be dropped via the comment section.
Sure.
As we are live streaming, and you can go there and then you will get the treasurer's information. and then you'll be able to see how to contact to be part of it. If you want to be part of it, you can also locate us at the church, Lukade Road, Chira here. So you can come to the church and ask for the treasurer in Young Corporate, Winnie, and they will direct you to her, and then she'll be able to tell you what to do and how to be part of the program. Thank you.
All right. So before you go any further, there's a I don't know why it's a fruit, why it's a plant. You say what's this? Yeah.
Celery.
Celery. What's that?
Okay, I'll speak it in layman English.
Okay.
Because soon we shall be having doctor.
Oh yeah.
That knows a lot to do with what happens in the farm. So basically, it's like a fibrous kind of plant.
Okay.
It's mainly used as a spice, but can also be used for other things. It's known as a it belongs in the Apiaceae category of plants. That is a bit complex, but it's been used a lot for working on weight loss. It's very important. It's a vegetable. It can also be used for moderating blood pressure levels, cholesterol levels. So it's something that has actually picked up the trend in farming here in Uganda.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, are those like the same roles played by chili? Like the pepper thing.
The difference is the taste.
Okay.
This is a vegetable. Chili, okay.
Chili
is mainly a spice.
Oh, yes,
It's
just a vegetable. Huh? A man from the west.
pepper.
I don't understand. How can chili be a vegetable? It's not a vegetable. But health-wise, is recommended to eat chili. Health-wise, because let me be very frank. One of the reasons Ugandans are having a lot of all these stomach ulcers and all that, eat a lot of all this chemical food. Yeah, I'll call them chemical food. A lot of frying of chips and all that. Everybody wants to eat chips and chicken, and there is no chili per se, pepper. It helps to burn your system. It helps to clear your system. So you don't really need to eat it much. But when there's a part of Nigeria where if they give you their food, those from the west, the Yorubas, you got to be strong to be able to eat their food because there is always enough. But you can actually put it minimal. I try to advise some friends I've met couple in Uganda. I told them, a lot of all these your stomach ulcers, you can hardly, because this stomach ulcer is not because they are not eating. They are eating, but they have this issue of not putting all these things we are eating, all this chili. It goes a long way. I'm just advising now. You have to try to put it in your food. If you as an adult, your system is not used to it because you grew up, try to see how you do it now so that your kids will not suffer the same thing. Add it little by little. The kid, after some time, they'll begin to get used to it. Don't say, they don't used to. No. You put it little by little by little, and before you know, the kids will be used to it and stuff like that. So it's advisable, and it's always very nice. If you cook food and that thing is not there, the food is not always.
He's very right, because there's a way chili spices up the food for me. So last question, if you don't mind. So now we know young corporates below 40. Now there are some who are really stubborn. So Kati, I don't know, how are you going to be engaging some of these people? Because now, for example, okay, let me use myself as an example. Let me not choose anyone else but myself. Me personally, when it comes to farming, I've never done any of that sort. Like I bend and I'm digging. No, I've never dug. Maybe if it's clearing grass, I have, yes, but me bending to dig and then you clear land, then after you put there, you plant, you want to plant bichi. So like, the youth of nowadays are lazy. Like they are not really interested in these things here of farming and whatsoever. So how are you going to encourage them, like as the young corporate society? How are you going to like grab their attention? Because I know, okay, the thing about our generation, what I know about them, as long as you give them something interesting to do, they won't hesitate. They will literally come through for it. But then if there's nothing interesting that is going to be going on, trust me, they are not going to come through. So I need to know how you're going to grab their attention. You have to help me out there.
Man, you just have to be very specific here. Is there going to be refreshment? You know, those
Exactly.
things? He
Food.
doesn't want to be specific.
I
Is there going to be refreshment in this journey of 30th? Or just transport, they'll go there. They're spending 1 hour, come back. There will be no tea. There will be no bread. You see, there are some people that just want to, like I know some persons here. If there is going to be chapati there,
There I won't even hesitate.
Interesting. We're talking about food, and we are going to learn how to grow the food. So, young people, most of you love money.
True.
Not so.
Yes.
And you like the fact that every morning you get up and go and ask, David, when did you last ask for your money from your parent?
Me, the last time. But I don't ask. Okay, honestly, when I really need it, that's when I ask. But I stopped asking. I stopped asking. Okay, there's, as a man, there's when you grow up, there's you have respect for your parents, and you fear asking them for money. So exactly. So instead of me asking, they be like, let me leave for my. Okay, they be like, this is my boy. Maybe he's going somewhere. Let me leave for him some 5,000 there, and he'll budget for himself. So that's what they do. They just leave it for you there, and then they tell your youngsters, you go and tell David, I'll leave for him some transfer there, and you're happy because as a man, when you grow up, and like, okay, my age, I honestly fear asking mommy for money or daddy because it's okay. It looks weird, but still, maybe if it's really urgent, like maybe I'm sick or I'm going somewhere that is very important, there I can ask, and yes, they can help me out. But me, I fear. Hey.
Now you see, we have David scared of asking, and somehow he has to beg indirectly. Maybe being a good kid, and so that Papa leaves something there, yeah? Now, being young, it's good to have money from your pocket. When you don't have to ask your parents, that means you don't have a limit to what you can have. And not asking from other people, but out of your own sweat. We want to teach you how to make the money. Not how to spend it, but how to make it. And this knowledge is something you're going to use 10, 20 years from now. We've seen people that are 80 years, 60 years, and they're still living quite a miserable life. And that is dependent on the mistakes they made while they were still young. So when you start early, regardless of how small you start, you're going to learn how to make this money on your own. You can even just get a sack, put it outside of your house, put soil, start putting there the seeds of chili. Before you know it, you've already had something, you're out in the market, sell. First sell to West Africa here.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yes, that's something.
I think, let me just come in this idea of sack. You don't even need to have a land. I've seen someone grow sweet potato in sack, Irish in sack. They just got a sack, filled it with sand, planted it, and when it was time for harvest, they just poured the sack down and harvested a lot of potatoes from there. So it is very advisable. Don't say you are too young to get the knowledge. This is what this journey of the 30th is going to do, giving you knowledge. You may not really start immediately, but you go there, you'll be able to have knowledge of some things, and you now think of passion. It will grow your passion in some certain areas. Because we are not just going there to see the greens, the chili and all that. We have maybe other things there we are going to know. So you'll be able to develop passion in a particular set of area. We are not all going to do everything there. Some persons may go there and they will be interested in the Irish or in the potato or in the garbage, stuff like that. So going there as young persons to acquire this knowledge is very important. Me personally, growing up, my dad was a teacher. We stay in a place we have farms, and then in that farms, even we just have like a section. I say, okay, this is my farm. I try to cultivate every other things that my parents are cultivating in the big farm. That was how we used to do it. And then now after school, you want to take care of your farm. So you just have to develop that passion, and with that now you now have knowledge. So by the time you are going into wider scale, you already know what to do. And then we are going there to learn on the disadvantage and the advantage, because it's not that you are going into farming, everything is rosy. You need to learn the planting time, the waiting time, when you need to remove all the weeds and the tares and stuff like that, and then you wait for the harvest. What does it take you to harvest? If you are harvesting, is it what needs preservation? Like this chili now. Sometimes you may not sell it all when it's fresh. How do you preserve it to be dry? How do you, stuff like so? Those are the things we are going to, I think, learn there.
So please, people below 40, or even if you're older, about what, guys? I'm 40 in the heart, but in actual sense, I'm younger than I look. Yes, I'm 16. The beers, let them not fool you. I'm 16 years old. Yes. All right. So young corporates out there, young people out there, older people, all ages, please let's come through for them. This is going to be an amazing journey. I personally want to try and encounter, and I see what's going to happen. I want to peep, and I see whether I can also bend, and I have an acre, like 50 acres, just with chili, bananas, cassava, matoke, melons everywhere. Money comes out from different places. You never know, because the Lord sends people. The Lord sends people to us.
Eucalyptus as well. I forgot. Calitus. See.
Yeah. What's that? What's that?
Calitus. You know the very long trees.
Yes. Yeah.
Very important even in getting rainfall. They're very nice.
Oh.
Very long trees. They're also there. Eucalyptus. So. Yeah. We call it Calitunsi.
Calitunsi.
Yeah.
Even their terms, the words they use.
Luganda. Not science.
It's all right, I understand. So, anyway, thank you very much for this, Doctor.
Thank
young
you.
Young corporates, please. Young people out there, old people out there, let's come through for this one here. We're going to send in more information via the comment section, so you shall check there. Let's go for a short break. We are coming right back.
Yo, man, hold on, man. Y'all got to turn them radios up. Y'all got to turn them up. Turn them radios up. This is... What's in the house? And you a nail barrel tuning in. You know what it is? Yeah. Straight up.
Ladies and gentlemen, you must tune your bass, tune your bass. The long-term benefits of bass have been proved by scientists.
The station with the... Welcome to Secret Sundays. Get ready, people. The show has just begun. You are now live with DJ Kid Fresh, Jay Bird, MC Rock, and the crowd mover, heavy hitters own, DJ Mark, the Spot. This is what we do. MC Rock, let's let the show begin. It's the Afterwork Classic Rewind. With DJ Mix, the one-armed soldier. It's the one-armed soldier. Spinning the classics on the Afterwork Classic Rewind. Set the tables on fire. Classic style. It's DJ Mix.
All right, welcome back from that short break. It's been a while. It's been just a few seconds. I hope you're still there with us. Thank you for remaining. Information is still going on around here, but before I go any further, we have another doctor in the house. Please, doctor, you're going to introduce yourself, and then I'm going to hand over to the mic to the other doctor. These things of having doctors here, I don't know how. Okay, this is senior doctor. This is junior doctor. I will state it that way. So we have a senior doctor and a junior doctor. So Senior doctor, please, you're going to introduce yourself to everybody, and then I will hand over to junior doctor. All right, yes.
Thank you, hosts. I'm Michael MUGABIRA, a member of this church, Riven Church Kira. Thank you for inviting me for the show.
Yes, thank you for being here with us. So, junior doctor, the floor. This is funny.
I'm glad to rub shoulders with senior doctor. Welcome, Dr. MUGABIRA. Michael. So, those who are watching us want to know, tell us about yourself. You know, people doctor in things. There are those that doctor in animals. There are those that doctor in PhD. There are those that doctor in treating patients. So tell us about yourself.
Thanks a lot, co-host. My doctorate is in business administration. That's where I specialized, and it's mainly global value chains, especially agribusiness.
Have you said global?
Global value chains.
Global value chains.
Value chains, yes.
Oh, the words are complex already. I'm feeling the doctorate already. Aye, interesting. So, doctor, tell us about that last word you've talked about. Just give us what it means.
Oh, the value chain is.
Yes.
The value chain is now it is mainly the modern concept in the 21st century. Whether you are in any industry, that you must look at a product from, if it is agriculture, from the farm up to the table. That means you look at how it is farmed, transported to the factory, processed, brought the market up the last table. If they are vehicles, the same thing. If it is a industry, whichever industry in, you look at the whole picture. Then in the segments within, that's where you can see innovations and entrepreneurship coming in. That's why you look at the whole global value chain now. That's the new concept. In business administration, we are studying. We don't study now single entities because they don't operate. You have to look at the whole chain. And then you see where your value can be added. Yes.
Interesting, doctor. So, doctor is telling us they observe all the way from the farm to the consumption, the consumer consumption. So, we have a lot of things ongoing here, but that means that we have a very important resource today. So, Dr. MUGABIRA, I'm trusting you have a family, you have a life, you have work to do, you have leisure time. Tell us about that, so that we also understand that you're also a normal human being like us. Eh? Yeah.
Yes, I have my wife. She's a medical doctor for her. She's a member of this church.
Have you heard that?
We have a daughter. She's a treasure Favor Kisakia. She's now 13 years. Leisure, I don't have much leisure, to be honest with you. Because for the past more than 10 years, I'm trying to build up a business, at least at a bigger context. And you need to consume a lot of time. It consumes a lot of thinking, it consumes resources, you have bank loans. So you find yourself that you have to think through, make it afloat, than going into leisure. Yes, I have to be honest with you about that. So my leisure is mainly on a Sunday.
Wow. This is interesting. Doctor's leisure time is only on Sunday. Some of you have been sleeping the whole day today, so we need to wake up. So, doctor, let's talk on. Let's go to this general. When did you start? When did this come to your mind? You know, we all have dreams when we are growing up, being youth. We think about a lot. You know, you're like, I want to be a pilot. Before you know it, then there was no plane that was owned by Uganda Airlines, but you're still dreaming. We dream we are going to be maybe Bill Gates at one point. How did you start? And up to now, yeah.
In terms of business,
Sure, yeah.
I have to say that in my upbringing, I was grown up in a village. I would understand that. Though I was born in Kampala, my father was working in Uganda prisons, but we went to the village when I was still young. So I was brought through a village upbringing. And through village upbringing, farming was mandatory. And I can tell you that the day when it rains during the night, especially during the morning, we are so happy that we should not go for the farming. But it was grooming us for the future, to be honest with you. I think my first farming I did it from Makerere, when I put up a very big banana plantation at the home, where I come from, around 20 acres. And since my father's job was not well paying, being a prison warden doesn't pay a lot with security. So it is that banana plantation which helped to educate my siblings. I'm the eldest, I have to be honest, because it's a banana plantation with pineapples. So it helped them to be educated. From there I joined the military. In the military I started working with the PPU. PPU, you don't know it is big, but the PPU, that is Presidential Protection Unit. That's what I started with. Then I came to realize there was a lot of, I don't mind whether you're recording, but I realized that given my background and the intelligence which are there, I need not manage. So when we went for cadet, I opted to work with Bombo, to go to the general military. Now in the general military, because I was a scientist, I was able to go and work, I was able to like a Songola air defense. But my view was that now I should be starting exiting the military. I didn't see much future. That maybe I can become a general. Once I didn't see it, I had to say now, let me go back for education. I had one degree that time. The military was good. It is good. Because I was able to study on my own money. My salary I was getting was able to help me go back to study. So as I studied, I was transferred from the military to Ministry of Defense in procurement. I worked there like for 2 years. I'm done studying that procurement in the Ministry of Defense. What was really in MS when I studied it. Definitely in such an area you step on some other people's feet, especially the big people. I was a junior officer. So they just moved in by a message, take me to Eastern Uganda, back to infantry. I declined it. I went and started teaching where? At Uganda Management Institute. Since I studied and they knew, because there was no reason to transfer me, so they did follow me up. Then later on, I put in my resignation from the military. It was accepted, and I joined that time I joined the Ministry of Energy through public service. Before I could finish my probation, then I joined Uganda Investment Authority. Uganda Investment, I worked there for 4 years, and I went fully into farming. I have to say that for us to do in farming, I can attribute mainly to Mr. Stephen Kawuka. Definitely as we are still working, younger people, he was in forestry at that time, forestry department. And I got some land, 10 acres in Nagoji, 10 hectares in Nagoji. So he called some of us to help him develop it. Just Moloka think and imagine. That was around 2005, I think so. So that's when Mr. Chairman, Dr. Siano comes on the board, Paul Diam comes on the board. Me, I was called in later. As a family, let us develop that hectares of forest. Now, given the background that we are trying also to grow maize and we are failing with the way we manage things, we don't. Agriculture is not developed in Uganda, like the Netherlands has been there for years and years. It's highly developed. If you go to those countries, whereas the trees can grow with the minimum supervision. That's why we picked up the tree farming business to take to a large scale. That's why we want to get about at least minimum of 100 acres about in Mbende. The amount of that to establish a tree plantation. Yes. But as I said, the idea comes from Redawood, Kawuka. Farmers just picks up to drive it. Yeah.
Imagine if Doctor was still in the military, he would have been a general by now. But he opted for, something, rest of mind. Rest of mind. No one would have understood the decision he took to opt out, because he said something. Going to procurement, it was like almost stepping on toes. Now imagine if you were still there. If God is not with you, something will happen and stuff like that. But anyway, but I have also picked something from his first statement. For now, he doesn't have leisure time. Meaning when you are starting a journey, you must sacrifice to see that journey stands before you begin to think of leisure time. And that now comes to us as the young persons. Are we ready to sacrifice? A lot of young persons now that are more or less too concerned of leisure time. Do we go for party? I don't go to club. I've not gone to club. I don't know club. I don't know. I don't ever think I will know. The only club I know is in my sitting room. Yeah, when I'm in that mood, I can play my music there. But if it is, let's go today, is happening somewhere. No, I don't know that. That is me as a person. For now. So, but, Doctor, how are you going to advise this young generation who wants to make it, but yet doesn't want to put in as much sacrifice as you see you are putting in to make sure that things work out well? Because it's not just for you, you are doing it even for the next generation. How are you going to advise us that are coming up in trying to venture into anything? What are the things you need to advise us?
Okay. With the younger people, I'll start with the examples. What is happening now? I think the general heading was work ethic, not so? I think you know Mr. Samunialo. You know him? Yes. Mr. Samunialo is the brother-in-law to Pastor Wangu, Richard Wangu. Or is a brother to Madame Rose Wangu. He comes in the church once in a while. If you don't know him, try to find out about him. I know I don't have his permission, but I can share his story. I know he worked with the share one time. Then he put up his own petrol station or fuel station. You know petrol station because it is beyond the fuel station. He was been sharing it with me because I always try to get information. Apple moving I've started because also been working. He tells me now, no, I'm no longer running a petrol station. I've opted to building and lease out. You know, share until you can lease to them and they run because they have management. You run a business, you need management. When you don't have management, you are going to crash. Yeah. But this is what he told me, his experience when he was running the petrol station. Because you have to employ younger people. Now, at the time of loading the fuel, we might be share where that is the depot. They have to cheat some liters. Mind you, fuel, the markup, markup or profit is small per liter. There is a cheating goes in at loading. Now the trucker driver who is moving fuel now from industrial area to your station has also to take out something. I'm sharing what he shared with me. Now, after reaching the offloading at the station, the pump attendant, this is how we are used to. You drive a vehicle. Then you can say, have you got 10 liters or 8? Also, they have to take something. Now, from the pump attendant, the accountant comes in, or the finance department. He gives you a live story. You have made 3 million shilling sales a day. He goes and banks the money, maybe in the evening, maybe 5 o'clock before the bank closes. So they bank 300,000. And they bring you a bank receipt of 3 million what? Shillings. So they go to the bank, they connive, they can stamp with the banker. A bank what? How do you call it? A banker stamp of 3 million shillings. And they tell her. But those things are forgotten. Maybe they're from another word. But the actual bank on the account is the 300 what? Now, by the end of the month, to reconcile the account, you find most of the money is gone. Now, are you in business? If you got a bank loan, are you going to survive? So he said, Michael, I realized I not manage. These younger people are giving them jobs, but this is what they are doing. He closed running management of the fuel stations and opted to buy land, build, lease. So he gets out of management.
Interesting.
That's an example. Maybe you can invite him on there to get his. But for me, But for me to open your eyes, the ethical behavior of younger people. Now we go to Max Weber. Max Weber is the one who wrote a book about work ethic and the spirit of capitalism, and identified 3 tenets that can make a nation grow. You know, maximum those are German early 19th century. When you look at capitalism, the growth of America, the growth of the Western region. What brought them to be? To grow or to develop where they are. They identified titles. The first one was diligence, which is biblical also. The second one was discipline. And the third one is what we call frugality. So now let's go through them. I don't know whether I'm taking a lot of time. Go ahead.
Please, today is your turn.
So what is diligence? When I did my research, definitely looked at the key success factors. I looked at South Africa entrepreneurs in Uganda. It was a cooperative study, trying to understand why is South Africa growing and Uganda is still what? Struggling. And in that study, I looked at the business which are high performers, low performers, and medium performers. What they esteem. So when you interview these entrepreneurs, they talk about the first success factor they say is passion. That you are saying that you have to be passionate about the business. And the country used to go in my thesis. I discuss passion, I publish about passion. But later on, after submitting the thesis and reviewing the new research coming up, just 2 years back before I published, I realized that it's not passion which drives the business, it is diligence. And when I read the Bible, diligence is more pronounced. You don't even find their passion. Now, they say that passion is like emotion. Today you can be in high spirits, tomorrow in low spirits. And later on you can even give up. But a diligent person, come rain, come sunshine, will move on. So what drives a business is diligence. And I think there are so many verses of diligence in the Bible, which I wouldn't dwell in now. Then try talking about discipline. I think, in every society, there must be rules of engagement. Every education where we are, whether you do procurement, whether you do medical doctor, there is what we call rules of engagement. Not so? There's a discipline. When there is a discipline of medicine, this is no business. The moment you say there is a discipline, even the church here is not a discipline. There are rules that you are able to. Outside those rules, you quit. So there must be discipline. Once there is no discipline, forget. In the business now, the global chain is talking about compliance with the standards for market access. That's why you sign off if you are talking about Chile. But to take Chile to EU, there are standards you have to use to grow that Chile of vegetables. And you must comply. Non-compliant players, they kick them out. You can't access the market. So there is a discipline you have to follow. How you prepare the land, what chemicals are acceptable to be used, what's not acceptable, the handling from the farm. There is even a whole booklet you have to comply for. You cannot take to EU everything. Forget. So there must be discipline. So we, the younger people, we must have discipline. You can talk about integrity, honesty, all of those things addressed by what? Disclosure dealing with humanity. Even the example I gave you follows under what? Discipline. Once you have the rules of engagement, that's when it comes in. Shared have developed that capacity to manage periphery, to manage what? It may not be 100% manageable, but 95% they can manage. Me and you, we may not be able to manage. Then the third one is frugality. You know what I mean by frugal? Frugality is that the consumption of resources shouldn't be through wasting. Today, look what the youth we have. They are obese. They overeat. So I'm going, okay. So I can stop there.
No, not stop. The microphone.
The microphone.
Closer to you.
Oh, sorry. So you can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So we're talking about frugality. The way we spend the time, the way we spend resources, they determine. Today, we are having your best youth because there is what we call extravagance. There is waste. So since there is no frugality, then you cannot have a working population. Now, those three I've talked about, they can be supported by biblical scriptures. Number one, do you have a Bible? I want someone to get a Bible. You read them, at least they only around 4 or 5 before you can continue. Proverbs 10:4. Proverbs 24.
Proverbs 10,
4.
10, 4. Okay. Just Proverbs 10, 4. Just only verse 4. It says, lazy hands make lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. That's sorry. That was, I read NIV.
Amplify says, he becomes poor who walks with a slack and idle hand, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich.
Somebody these three tenets with biblical suppositions. Lazy hands lead to poverty. Diligent hands lead to wealth. And my daughter is one of the things she has to memorize daily when we pray. It's part of her. The next one. Proverbs 12:24. 12:24.
Okay. For NIV, it says, diligent hands will rule, but lazy hands. Diligent hands will rule, but laziness ends in forced labor. That's NIV.
And then Amplify says, the hand of the diligent will rule, but the scornful will be put to forced labor.
So now you can see. A diligent hand will rule you. Lazy hands, forced labor. So today, with this type of labor we're having in the youth, we are going to end up into forced what? Forced labor. Today, finally, most of them are running away from Africa to go to where? To Europe. What is that? They are in forced labor. In the Middle East, that's what? Forced labor. Yet there is money here. But people are lazy and they cannot work. Proverbs 28:19. Proverbs 28:19. 19.
Proverbs 28:19, NIV, it says, those who work their land will have abundant food, but those who chase fantasies will have their fill of poverty. Wow, very powerful. Fantasies. Proverbs 28:19.
He who cultivates his land will have plenty of bread, but he who follows worthless people and pursuit will have poverty enough. Imagine a poverty being enough.
That's Max Weber writing the three nets, but they are backed up with scriptures, if you see. Then the last one, Luke 19:13. Luke 19:13.
Okay, Luke 19, Luke 19:13. It says, so he called 10 of his servants and gave them 10 minas. Is it? Yes. Put this money to work, he said, until I come back. Should I continue?
Okay, Amplify says, calling 10 of his own bond servant, he gave them 10 mines, asked each equal to about 100 days' wage, or nearly $20, and said to them, buy and sell with this while I go, and then return.
Thank you. You're good. It says buy and sell. What does it mean? Do business till I come. Buy and sell is what? Do business till I come. Buy and sell means what? Business. Do business till I come. It's biblical.
What can we say? Those watching us. I'm put on fire right now. I feel like just running to Mr. Guitar's farm right now.
Because I don't know what doctor is going to do. Having a doctor profession and Bible say we should do what? More of buy and sell. More of cultivate. You know, looking at the Bible, yeah, I think I'm not against the white collar jobs, but if you want to go biblically more, the Bible says we should cultivate the earth.
I'll stop there because, we can also buy and sell service. Yeah.
Okay, no. Doc, I can dispute that fact on the computer age we are now. You are a medical, right? You've traveled to the West. You know the whites are coming up with robotic system that can take up your field of work. You know that? Even the having a nanny at home, the whites are already building a robot that can mop the house, do everything. So a time is coming, nobody needs nanny in the house. They'll buy a computer that will do the cleaning. So it's literally going to take away jobs from people. So what are you going to fall back to when that's your job? Already today, they are also building a robot that can defend clients in the law court. They are developing robots that will become lecturers. So where do you fall back to? You have to fall back to the farm, please.
I like the motivation. I'm motivating people to go to the farm. But I don't think any of you would want a robot to be working on your teeth and your smiles. You need to be communicating.
Exactly.
You need to have a person touch you, not something. And also, even on the farm now we have tractors, not so, doctor? Yeah, we have things that have simplified work.
Mechanized farming.
Yeah, so it's everywhere. But the issue is that you have to be creative. But doctor, you've mentioned something. And you've mentioned it as your values, because I've taken discipline, diligence, frugality. And you've mentioned something that do business until I come. Personally, even as I offer service to my patients, I'm still making money. It's not just service. I have to come back smiling, the pocket smiling. Yes. But then you mentioned something that in your process to where you are right now, you happen to be part of the military. My mother was in the military for a very long time, but as a civilian. And so I was able to go in the barracks. Ginger, and also, I think mainly Ginger, that's what I remember, but in Nakasongola, she was also there. And one thing I noted about people in the army is that there is a lot of discipline. And I'm told that there is no person as disciplined as a person who has gone through military training. Doctor, should I think that discipline came from the army?
Yes, I have to say so because when God is bringing you up, if you go biblically, you don't go through the cheapest way. You can see in the biblically the kings that we had the King David, the two sons. There is Solomon and Absalom. You realize that Solomon, David said, it was he went through an iron hand because he was being prepared to be a king. Absalom was brought up with all the what do you call them, Pampadi. Where did Absalom end up? I think you know the story. Without driving there. So whether Joseph fought, always you have to go through that rough system to prepare you for the work of the future. Even the real entrepreneurs, if you study their histories, it has not been easy. It has not been easy. That's why when you go on that farm that day, ask the members that have come. One question, how many of them feel frustrated? If you get 1 hand, 2 hands, then you're having entrepreneurs there. Because if you're not frustrated, you can't do anything. That's the first question you can ask them. How many of them feel? I feel that they are frustrated. Because you feel frustrated, there is something you need. Yeah.
Okay, I think in this issue of discipline, I don't want, Doc, I don't want us to look at it from the military. It all depends. Again, your background. Talking about discipline and diligent. Diligent involves your time. You need to know what you are doing, at what time you are supposed to do it, and how you are supposed to do it. So if you need to be consistent. And that's why even the Bible says, seeth a man diligent in his work, he shall stand before king. Until you learn to be self-disciplined, not someone reminding you. It may be rough, but you have to discipline yourself. Most of us, there are things we do now that sometimes, for me, sometimes it requires me to sacrifice money that I would have used to eat to get data because I need to be online. I go as far as that, not eating, just because I don't want to stay offline. I am disciplining myself. Now, a lot of persons may not see the sacrifice you are putting in, but when the result comes up, that is what people know. So I think we as young persons now, we just have to be disciplined, not waiting for our parents. The story Doctor was putting up about Absalom and, I think again, Doctor, we have to really look at this and address it. What are the impact of parents in helping the youth to take up something and be consistent with it? Because I think parental guidance is another thing. A lot of parents have spoiled the youth with, we have it. But I don't believe in my parents because, maybe because from the background I'm coming. My father was a teacher. Yours was even a warder. Maybe, I don't know Uganda warder and the teachers, which ones are more paid. But in Nigeria, teachers are not well paid, even when they train all the people they are training. But I have not grown up to say I have to do something extra mile, not where my dad stopped. My dad trained me, I've gotten BSc, but now I'm thinking I want to get masters. Why do I want to get master? I want to move from where my dad pushed me to another level, so that I'll be able to push my own children even to a professor level. That is my own determination. But there are things I am doing that is requiring my sacrifice. I don't have it now. So, diligent, discipline, a lot of persons will talk down on you when you are in the farm, in the garden. They see you dirty. I'm trying to also use Uncle Wegulus. He said he was trying to do his farm somewhere at Nokono. He was here, but he noticed something was not going normal until he had to move down to the farm to stay there. Going about the also testimony you gave us about pastors in-law also. A lot of things try to transpire, but when you are there, putting in your time, your energy, the skills, making your research, and you are implementing what you are doing, it goes a long way. So how do you want to admonish parents? Because your generation will soon go. What happens to us? Because it's us, yeah, junior doctor included. Yes.
I can refer to my daughter. But let's start with Indians. You've seen Madivani. The family is wealthy. But if you start those Indian families or Asians, their children, when they come for holidays, they send them to the other factories of Northeast, maybe to Kenya, to a sugar factory. They get to work in the boxes, tying boxes like that. So that they start from downwards, grooming them for work. For us here, even if you start a business, a farm, okay, Indian shops, even in Kampala, you'll find the children on the table of the shop. Have you looked at it? They leave them behind. For us, we leave them where? Behind. We leave them behind. What happens is, there is now the popular Nigerian movies. That's what they are watching. And those movies, they bring a life which does not exist in reality. It is how do you call it, that type of life? Superficial. In reality, life does not what? Exist. So that's what you are watching. Yes, for us, we are working. Because I told you, my mother was working in the farm. It was done feeding us. It was done educating us to supplement the father's income. So I told my daughter, you know, she's in a school, these international schools. They always call parents. They told them, you know, this is a new era. The children, you know, the type of education they give is like pampering children. Which I don't believe in myself. I said, if you go ahead with those workshops of pampering children. But me, I use the other one. I understand of my mother to stick and what? Carrot. And even she knows that verse in the Bible. Spare the road and me see. And she quotes it. Just her. Understand? Now, what amazes me, even the school knows it. When our daughter does something which is not right, they don't call her mom. They call her me. But workshops, they teach, you know, you do like this. Esteem them what? No. If you were esteemed like that, I wouldn't be where I am. Because the moment I left a job, it would mean look for another job. Lamentation is. But I went back to the work. But this time in a different way. That's when someone is having problems. Now look at that yard on a Sunday. How many vehicles do you see? You see the husband has a vehicle, the mother has what a vehicle. Now they say that in Africa, you can't leave a vehicle on the road. I think you're aware of that. They'll steal it. But in Europe, leave a tractor on the road. What they can take is a battery. In Europe, you can't abandon the tractor on the road. You'll never sit. They take it because the farmers are big, they take the farm and you never sit here again. Because the most important tool for production. But here we don't recognize the tractor. It's importance. So you can find, if you look at the vehicles which parks there, and you say that if this player convert them and have tractors with too much northern land, now northern there is a lot of huge land, chunks of land. The Bazungus have come. They are farming, we are looking on. 2050, the population of Uganda will be over 100 million people. People occupying offices are not living.
It's also happening in Nigeria.
They're not living. Now, this younger population, where are they going to work? Given now the unemployment rate we are in. Nobody is answering that question. So we're likely to end up with crime. They want a good living without earning. That's why you find that even though you give them a job, they keep on playing what? Games. Yeah. So, we ourselves, there's something we have to address. Yeah, that's what I can say. I don't know if I'm being clear.
Very, very clear. Thank you so much, Dr. Mugabira. And so we still have a few questions. Yes, and I like where we are going at because I grew up thinking my dream was to become a doctor, regardless, and to become a doctor on my first degree. So I didn't want to pursue, probably to get it after like a PhD or something. And that was my dream. The issue is that we have so many girls and boys that are moving towards the university with a lot of aspirations. So I have two questions. If a young person has just left the university, they are looking for a job because at that level, they don't have enough capital to start their own. Which advice would you give them? Then secondly, do I really have to go all the way to the university when I can go to the farm and make the money faster? Thank you.
That's the good question. And it goes back to what we call the key success factors. Because what are those 4 key success factors that we need? This was part of my study. There are mainly 4. The first one is knowledge. The second one is practice. The third one is skill. And the fourth one is capabilities. These are survival key success factors for an individual and for a farm, maybe it's starting. Where do you get knowledge? You can get knowledge in school. We get knowledge at home. We got knowledge in the church. We got some knowledge in the technical institution is. But what is knowledge? If you go biblically, in the Garden of Eden there was the tree of knowledge, of evil and good. Everybody can have knowledge. So simply knowledge is about rules, commands, parables, biblically, illustration is, that's what we call it, knowledge. But knowledge alone will not take you very far. You need practice now. So you may need some employment to get practice first, to go and work for someone, to gain that experience. It can be like if you had to get experience first, either 10 years, but don't go beyond, because also some egg matters. Now, that practice helps you to operationalize knowledge. We are saying that if you multiply knowledge and practice, then you get what we call that skill. I can give you an example. When we went to Amuru, we are doing what we call clone coffee. Clone coffee is cloning. We get Makerere graduates to go and produce clone coffee. They failed. Do you know why they failed? We can learn later on. In school, you have a certain knowledge of how to do cloning. So they went to that knowledge. But don't have the training, the practical aspect of it. We went to Masaka and picked a younger man. Cannot speak English, but can produce a commodity. You can ask any directors of it. I can give you their names. Dr. Sieno is the chairman. We have Professor Kabasa. We have Paul Ediang. We have who? Yeah, off microphone. We have Paul Ediango. We have Madame Tina Achira. We have Madame Rose Wangwe. We have am I forgetting who? My wife is there. We have Pastor Sam Mugote. We have Dr. Harriet Lambuya. I just have given the few, but we are 10 shareholders of directors. Now, this younger man who has never gone to school came in last year, August. And we did today, they said that according to the soil here, the sand which there is enough. Because in school they told them that you have to mix sand with this soil and others produce what? The clone, so that they can survive. Plus the hormones which are put there, and hormones. Now what they are doing, because there was already dust, they said they had enough, so they're adding in sand. Not adding the sand, it was burning. You don't call it heat, the heat becomes too much. So they couldn't survive. Now someone never went to school, who cannot speak English, was able to produce Kilono coffee, which you have sold and have raised more than 100 million shillings from an educated person. Now, even if you have a PhD, the way you see me here, my family expects to bring food on the table. They don't mind about what I've done. Doesn't matter. Education does not matter. What matters, can your hands produce food or not? The table. The Bible says that bless the works of your hands. The works of what? Your hands should be able to produce food on what? The table. Now, having knowledge, which knowledge can produce food on the table, is useless what? Now, you want me to continue?
One thing, just to remind the young corporates, food is very important. Whatever you're doing, if you can't bring food to the table, it is useless. Even if you're a secretary sitting in that fancy office, wearing nice shoes and a nice blouse, but then you come back walking from town to home, please, let's go to the farm.
Okay, I think let me also portray the point. There is nowhere they said you must go to school. I don't think going to school is just acquiring knowledge to be able to do something differently. Okay? What do I mean by that? A lot of our parents didn't go to school. they were able to sell greens, sell cassava, sell this to train us to school. Now, the reason why we go to school, a renowned man of God in Nigeria said, the reason you went to school, after school was supposed to come and improve that business that your mother was doing at the roadside. How do you make it to be more global? How do you improve that business from roadside to something that can attract more? Not for you to go to school and come back and you are saying you are seeking a white collar job. If your mom, your dad can sit on the road, can sit at Nakasero market and send you to Makerere and you could get degree and come back, how are you now coming back to improve that business from Nakasero market to a global stage? That is what the knowledge you are supposed to acquire in school was supposed to bring. But, we now go to school and come back and we feel that our parents who sell at Nakasero and other markets, they are not supposed to. You want to be in AC and all that. I think I've not traveled to Europe, but I hear that even during holidays, their kids don't sit at home. Their kids are pushed to go and work, and begin to earn before school resumes. But here in Africa is a different ball game. During holidays, we feel children need to relax. No. So there is no. In Nigeria, there is this popular saying we said, with the rate of our politicians and people don't want to retire from service, we now say school is a scam. School is a scam in the sense that you end up going to school and come back, and then there is no job for you because the people in office don't want to retire. They want to renew their age every time they are moving with bar hair and changing their age, and just because we don't have an effective government who wants to pay people pension after working, so people want to rather remain in service. So they keep on changing their age and age and age. So what do you as a young person need to do? Going to school, learn, come back. For me as a person, I don't believe on salary. I have not arrived, but I don't believe on salary. I am thinking of what do I do that will be giving me money even if I'm sleeping, not salary. You made mention of something, Doc. A lot of people are waking up, going to work, and at the end of the day, you see them now, go down to Kampala, you see them, they are trekking back. A lot of them on foot. Coming back home. And either some as early as 4, 5 a.m., they are already on foot. So that is to show that the salary is not even enough to foot your rent. Then not to talk of transportation and all that. So you just have to, as a young person now, discipline yourself. Otherwise, and I tell a lot of young persons that are going into family now, the kids you are raising today that are in nursery, they feel is small. But as these kids are growing up, their bills increases. What extra are you going to do to be able to meet? I don't think we are going to finish this show today.
Doctor, you're still giving us some more points before, yes.
Celebrating.
Yes.
So now, when you have knowledge and practice, then you go to what we call, because you practice doing something repetitively. When you repetitively using the doing knowledge, then you get what we call a skill. That's what we talk about. Go to that. You want to build my temple, get men or women of skills. That's when you have a skill. Now, the young people don't have skills. They don't employ you. Because when our mama we are teaching us to use that hand hoe, we are getting a skill. Yeah. But I will tell you that they are now, we are living in them at the Nigeria movies. What skill they have? Tell where is the skill? So they can have knowledge about something, but they cannot apply it. So they don't have skill is the problem. Now, from a skill, the last one must have capabilities. We are. Now, these capabilities are mainly reside in a farm more than an individual. Capabilities, we mean that the competence to do a task with efficiency. Anybody can have an ability to do anything without combating. Capability, you must have the capability to do a task with efficiency. The efficiency way you do it. So that means that when you talk about the younger people, should be got 1, 2, 3, 4. When we are here, you can be good in marketing. You can be good in public speaking to market the company. You can be good in marketing So when you combine us, we have not developed capabilities, and then we can market our chili, we can market our coffee. Lonely, you can't succeed, forget. There is no single success. And when young people are talking about working, you don't work individually, it doesn't work. Because you cannot possess all this knowledge. You cannot have all the capabilities of doing it. You need to agree, okay, let's have 10 acres here, if you're going to go into farming. Let's develop chili, because you need big quantities to go to the market. You need a quote, you need to standardize. So that all of you, when you combine your skills, your knowledge, you're able to produce a commodity that you can put in what? Don't think that you are going to say, I've got the farm, now I'm going to run to Budaka, do it, I'm going to run to Kongere, do it alone, to not work. You're going to be frustrated. You need now to change your way of thinking. That's why, if you go to our judges, they worked under cooperatives. Do one thing in an area and market it. They're the cooperatives. In Israel, they have never left that principle. They call it the kibbutz and the moshav way. Every village does one commodity at a time. It is dairy farm, it is dairy farming. They produce milk in large quantities. They have a plant where they supply it, process it, export markets. If it is vegetables, they do them in large numbers, every village. They do that. That's why they call them kibbutz or moshav. Even Netherlands, they won't get under cooperatives. So that's the way to go. Don't go lonely. You're going to be frustrated. Management becomes the problem because every business fails because of management. Number one is management, number two is management, number three is what? That's why business fails. And one person you can't possess all of those. So capabilities reside in the number of people, not one people. Because you must have the system, the processes, the vision, the mission, and the sound judgment. So you have to look at developing capabilities as a team. Success is on teamwork, not as an individual. So we have to be on everybody's shoulder that network and move ahead. Yeah. Hope I was clear about that.
Thank you very much, Dr. MUGABIRA. I'm hoping, David, the time you live here, you will not be asking Papa for any money. Yes. So the 4 keys to success. I'm just re-echoing what Dr. MUGABIRA has said. We have knowledge. That knowledge is put to practice. Then through the practice, we get the skills. And through that, we get the capabilities to work in a team. You can't do things on your own. You're supposed to do in a team. So young corporates, let's start this thing. Let's get rolling, yeah? Yeah, so, and I know we've really made you speak because all that you have is just a lot of information, and we're really proud to have you here. So this is something. This is a scenario. I have 2 opportunities, and one of those is working for probably a very big job. Let me give an example. World Vision, UN, international job. I'm being paid lots of money, probably money that I've never earned as a young person. And then there is this offer. Probably you've introduced me to a mini Eden. And you're telling me, you know, you can start this. When you start this, you're going to get something on board, yeah? And then I'm seeing the mini Eden coming, and now I'm going to watch it grow. But there's a big sum of money. As a young person, where would I go? Because I feel I need to make a sound decision there. Should I go for the big lots of money or start small and wait for 10 years from now?
Thank you. Let me start by the word. Corporate is a good word, but again it has spoiled us. Because all of us want to work because we want the identity of corporate. We cannot stand on our own. I want to be identified as I work with MTN. Even now churches. Do you know why we are building these cathedrals? We don't want to be identified by them. We want churches. We want identity. We are looking for it. And it's killing us. Identity is good. I can say that as a younger person, it is better to work first. I said it earlier. And that because you need the capital. But again, you don't get tied up there. Don't get tied up. Say, let me work for 10 years. Come on, I have to quit. And you do what? Even someone here I'm talking about, he was wrong with the share. And I think it was at a managerial level. But he himself decided to quit. To come and start, run the petrol station, run the fuel station. And that's the lesson is. Because now you do have was harassing those entrepreneurs. Now see what has gone through. There is pre-frag, which is the management aspect. There is what? So you need to work for some time, but don't overwork. Because I would advise someone of 50 years that resign a job, come into business, you are going to crash. These younger people are going to crush you. At least not beyond 40, you should come out and struggle. But the best time to come into a production is in the mid-30s. If you finish by 25, you can get work quickly, work for 10 years. 35, leave, start. But if you are going to 50, I don't advise that you resign a job, start. You can have what you call a side income. Not even, but a side what? Income. Whether rentals, but a side what? Forget building a business because it really drains you. And what you call a business, you need like minimum 15 years. Even if you do study, those big businesses, they took them 15 years to start going to a break-even point. But you can have if you want to go into career progression, have what you call a side incomes. As you said, personal involvement. It was part of my study. For a business to succeed, especially Africa, you need personal involvement. You have to be there. If you are not there, most of the time, there is a lot of privilege. If it is a portrait, when it makes 10 trays, they give you 7, they take the 3. Now the 3 trays you are bringing is what you call the profit. So we need to survive that business, it will collapse. And yet you grow it, that poultry farm will be better. By the time your children come in, it is a big farm. That's how those farmers have developed in the Netherlands, where we're going now to look at them. In America, they have been there for 400 years. Their family, they keep on. But even for them, they raise capital. It's not like in Africa. They have what you call stock exchange. When I have an idea, I take the stock exchange. I mobilize the equity without interest. So it is a cooperative, which you understand in another way. They mobilize money. First, you have a good idea into buying shares on the stock exchange. Here in Africa, we think that you can work alone. It doesn't make sense. Mobilizing money is a challenge. So you end up in too much borrowing. And when you borrow, you work more to the lender than for the farm. So that the younger people, if you get out of these problems, come and pool resources. Work together. So if you can build your own equity, and where if it is farming, let everybody produce. And you do joint marketing. Don't do joint production. Because you are going to end up with in business we call it free riders. They bring in little and they watch. So the business becomes burdened. Those you call them free what? Rider. So let everybody produce. Like a cooperative. You produce your coffee, 5 acres, 2 acres, 3 acres on a standard. Then we go for joint marketing. That's what they do in Israel. Yeah. Don't make a mistake that all of you, because when you are 10 people, you cannot have a farm of 5 acres. It doesn't break even. There is a minimum of 10 acres, but put in that money for 10 acres, it is able to put up, bring a substantial amount of what? Money. So they say, no, let everybody do what you can manage, but let us have a joint what? Marketing. Yes. That's what I can tell you. And that's what will work. You can have joint factory. That one works. But don't do joint production. Let it be individualized, but in the same locality. Yes.
All right, that was really beautiful. Honestly, I've been working on a project with a friend of mine. We're trying to come up with something to do with digital things. Like we wanted to put up a photo booth, but as an individual, you can't start up a business alone. You have to start from somewhere. So my friend has a camera, me I have people. So since he had the camera and I had people, all I had to do was just call people. I send them to him, and then they take the pictures, and then he's paid. So that's how we are starting up our small business. But it's not going so well, but by God's grace, we are being diligent. We are being persistent. We're doing everything that can help us. And with time, before you never know, you may find us putting up billboards also for people. Yeah, anyway, so first of all, I'd love to thank you, Senior Doctor and Junior Doctor, for being here with us. It has been an amazing journey. They have told us a lot that, honestly, I've really got a lot out of this. The scriptures too. It has been really a blessing to have you here. Thank you very much. As doctors have a lot on their plates. They are never busy, but they sacrifice to be here on this show for us. So thank you very much for joining us today. May the Lord continue blessing you. He's going to bless you. Before you know it, you're going to have 5 days of chilling. Auntie, you say the only day you relax is Sunday, but before you know it, only 5 days you'll be relaxing. The other two, you go, you check on your business, you check on what you're doing. Trust me, the Lord always works. Like, He rewards the hard work that you've done. So we have finally come to the end of the show, but it has really been amazing. Thank you, people, for joining us here. Continue reviewing our information. For the comment section, we are going to be informing you about the for the young corporates. We shall be throwing there some information for you, like the contacts that you should be contacting, and you'll get to know more with time, because they're always here and we're always keeping you updated. So I remain the noisy one, Alinda David Amumbi, and here with me I have
MUGABIRA.
yes.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us. I remain the senator, and I want to tell you, this show can go on and on. If you have any question, drop it in the comment sections. We are going to answer you, and we're going to get your input. And if you want to learn more on how to, just drop it on the comment section. We shall go through it and get back to you. Thank you, and God bless you. Catch you next week.
Yeah, and I've been Dr. Maria Goretina Chonyi. See you on 30th September for the young corporates.
Let's mark
Ciao.
that date.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time, see you guys.
Sundays. Get ready, people. The show has just begun. You are now live with DJ Kid Fresh, Jay Bird, MC Rock, and the Crowd Mover. Heavy hitters on. DJ Mark, the Spot. This is what we do. MC Rock, let's let the show begin. It's the Afterwork Classic Rewind. With DJ Mix, the one-armed soldier. It's the one-armed soldier. Spinning. Spinning the classics on the Afterwork Classic Rewind. Set the tape.